My capstone project for this semester was to design a new initial teacher training program for Huntington Learning Center. I'm currently a director at the Huntington Learning Center in Winter Park, and one of my responsibilities as director is to train all of our new employees, all of our new teachers. So right now, the training takes a lot of time out of my day, and I've also learned that it's not really sufficient for preparing teachers for their first day with students on their own. So currently, I was able to identify a lot of issues with teacher training that we have. Right now, it's only about 2 hours in length. It's essentially a crash course in instruction, and it's completed with nothing more than me talking and an outline for the teachers to follow along. So a lot of the teachers on their first day will come up to me, they don't know where things are, they don't know how to record something, they don't know how things work. So for this reason, I decided to develop a new initial teacher training program based on evidence in cognitive architecture, information processing, cognitive load, instructional design, etc. So the literature revealed a lot of benefits for multimedia instruction. With multimedia instruction, the learners, it's more self-paced, so they can go back and review things if they need to. They can go back and watch a video again. They can go back and read a passage again if there's something they weren't clear about. There's also immediate feedback. So if they answer something incorrectly, there's feedback saying, here's the explanation for this, the correct answer to this question. This is why you got it wrong. So I did choose a multimedia platform for this instruction, and that also, given multimedia instruction, it saves me a lot of time because the teachers can do it on their own time, and I don't have to be up teaching the whole time. However, with multimedia instruction, the literature revealed that cognitive load and preventing cognitive overload need to be taken into consideration. So with cognitive load theory, we're assuming there's a visual and an audio channel in the working memory, and we don't want to overload both of those, otherwise the information won't be stored in our long-term memory because our working memory capacity will be completely overloaded. And then emotional design is also another factor that needed to be taken into consideration. I wasn't aware of this, but the literature did reveal that the colors you used in a multimedia presentation, the designs, the shapes, they can all impact how efficient the learning process goes. And then I also found many benefits for case-based learning. So for this, I implemented a case of a hypothetical student named Billy Jones. So the teachers kind of get to know Billy Jones and learn how Huntington's curriculum can help Billy in his to fill in his specific learning gaps. And they also do an activity where it's kind of a day in the life of Billy Jones, where they go through and based on his scores, they record those in his progress record book. And they really are kind of putting what they've learned to the test, and they're using it. And then I also learned that there are a lot of important guidelines to be following with instructional design. So I'm going to kind of tell you what my end product was and then kind of show it to you as well. So I did create a renovated initial teacher training program. I did use a multimedia platform. It's on a website, and it does implement the case-based learning. There's 4 separate modules with videos to provide instruction, and then there's checkpoints at the end of each module to check for their understanding. It is sensitive to cognitive load and emotional design. There are a couple ways to run into cognitive overload with, presenting narration as text and talking, or providing background music while the learner is trying to read something. Things like that are just completely avoided in my program. It's very simple and to the point. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Here's my home page. Here's a little quote from Plato. And then here's the welcome page. And then here at the top are our 4 learning modules. And each learning module states a learning objective so that the student or the learner will be able to know what are they expected to learn by the end of the program. So learning module 1 talks about Huntington's academic evaluation. It also presents the case study of Billy Jones here. And then there's, this is a picture of what Billy Jones' workbook would look like. It's showing all of his books here, and then how many lessons or units or pages he's supposed to do in each book on this side. And then here is a video of me explaining this book.
Each student's binder is green with their name on it, last name first, first name second. When you open the binder, all of the reading materials and answer sheets are in this bucket. And here is our Huntington Learning Center progress book for reading. It's green. When you open to the first page, you can see the program for Billy.
And then I did provide a bigger picture of that program up here for anyone to refer back to, because I know it's a little smaller to see in the video. And then here are the questions to check for understanding. There are 4 questions, and then here is a video explaining the answers.
Question number 1 is true. Each student at Huntington Learning Center has their own individualized program. While students may work out of similar books, their programs are specialized just to meet their needs.
And that's kind of how each module is set up, but each just going over different learning objectives, different topics. Learning Module 2 talks about the progress record book, and this is where the day in the life of Billy Jones activity comes into play, where the teachers are actually writing down his progress as I'm saying his scores. So
At the top, we must keep track. For each session Billy attends, he must be signed in the record-keeping. He must be signed in verbal and math hours with the date. Here, on page 15, he scored a 4 out of 5, and page 17, he scored a 5 out of 5.
There you go, just kind of going through recording each of the scores, but then they can also see how I'm recording the scores here. And they do have a copy of this on their process worksheet. That's where they're going to be recording all of their questions and answers. And then here's another video kind of explaining the answers.
The correct answer for question 1 is C. When signing Billy in for the day, you must record his cumulative verbal and math hours in his reading progress book.
Okay. Learning Module 3 goes over all of Huntington's reading curriculum. So there's 3 basic programs that we have: our phonics programs, our core readers, our specific skills series, and our other skill building series. So each of these videos just kind of goes over those books, where the students record the answers, and how you record the
It has 1 core reader. It is one of the simplest core readers to check for comprehension.
And then again, there's the quiz. And then Learning Module 4 just covers additional instructional procedures. So things like spelling dictionary, spell 5, they're all there. And then here's the quiz check for understanding. And that is my project. That's my website. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the discussion board for anyone who wants to check it out on their own. Thank you for listening.